you might sit there and look out the window and see, just one perfect cloud out there and just be like, you know what, that's kind of fun. Remember when we were kids and we got excited about like just sitting looking at the clouds, just laying on your back on the grass and just saying, there's something I'm grateful for right now. And then take a look around and be like, hey, you know what? I have electricity and light in my office right now that's allowing me to be here. I have a camera that's looking at me right now that allows me to have a business partner from 3,000 miles away that I feel like I have a relationship, like I get to see him every single day and have interactions with him. You start adding all these things on, and it's very easy to not see that stuff when you're not in the state of gratitude. But understand that to get yourself to start to open up and see all these things, you have to open the door.
Welcome everyone to Life at 10 Tenths, where we inspire you to live at the pinnacle of your ability and purpose. And happy Thanksgiving. Gosh, man, Garrett, I am grateful for you, grateful for our audience. If it is your first time listening, his name's Garrett, my name's Matt, and we are so grateful to have you guys here today. And every year on Thanksgiving, we talk about gratitude. And so this is our gratitude episode, and we're excited to share what we're grateful for, and also just kind of some theory around gratitude and why it is one of the most powerful things that you can deploy into your life and your business, and the things that we've experienced and have seen when people do lean into gratitude. So Garrett, good morning to you, sir.
Good morning to you. And it's funny, our gratitude Thanksgiving episode, obviously comes up every single year. We've been doing this now for 7 years. I'm grateful for that. We started 2018, started going 2019. So let's just say 6 years we've been doing this for.
6 years of doing this episode in particular.
Yeah. And it's interesting. I feel like it always comes up, like this one we were talking about doing the gratitude. I was like, I kind of feel like we just did that episode. And then I was like, you know what I'm grateful for? I'm grateful that was 100 episodes ago that we were doing a gratitude episode. And I enjoyed doing this so much that it feels like it was just kind of right there. Like what I get to do with you, Matt, and what we get to do with helping the industry and agents and helping them grow. I am so incredibly grateful, thankful, because it definitely doesn't feel like work. It's something that I don't know if any of you know, Matt gets me up at 5 o'clock in the morning so that I can record and make these episodes. And it's funny, I don't have a moment that I wake up at 5 o'clock going, oh, it's a podcast day. It is one of the easiest ways for me to get out of bed. It reminds me of when my dad would come into my room when I was a kid and he goes, Garrett, it's time to go fishing. And I remember jumping out of bed. Hard to get up for school. That was a beast for me. But getting up and going fishing, I would jump out of bed for. And this is the same thing. Every single morning, my alarm goes off and it's not hit the snooze. It's not, oh, I wish I could have an extra hour. I love doing this, man. Appreciate you. Appreciate everybody. And we're going to talk about gratitudes and the power of gratitudes today, if you didn't understand that.
Well, I appreciate you, man, a whole lot. And, we've built in gratitude into our frameworks at a high level now too. And I don't know if we talked about this on last year's episode. I think we had created the daily ignition at that point. And we created the daily ignition. I want to talk about that specifically for a minute because we were looking at all these different morning routines and programs that a lot of trainings and coaching programs have. And they're all great, by the way, don't get me wrong. But we do find that some people get overwhelmed by them and they're trying to decide, well, what's part of the things that I should do all the time versus the things I just do on working days. And we sat down and said, we need a framework that just works for getting you ready for every day, whether it's a work day or a fun day or a family day or whatever it is, because we should always be at our best, whether we're going to be working or recreating or whatever it is. And gratitude was the first thing that we're just like, oh, well, that's there, obviously, some form of gratitude. And we specifically went to say, share gratitude. Yeah. Right. And so sometimes that's sharing it with yourself, but looking for the opportunities to bring gratitude out loud. And it's fun when we see people do that, Garrett. Like, it transforms things. It transforms our live coaching sessions, our mastermind sessions that we do with our individual clients, transforms the business planning workshop stuff that we do. Like there's just an energy that shifts when people get out loud with their gratitude. And I'm just so happy that we've built that into an everyday thing, and we continue to encourage people to do it each and every day.
Yeah, you can watch it in groups of people. You can watch it. I mean, I can feel it in myself when I do gratitudes. There's a reason, and I've shared with a lot of you. Like, it's actual alarm on my phone says time to do gratitudes when it goes off in the morning. And I do that because it's easy in this world that we're in to get pulled into the next step real fast. All of a sudden, the day has started. We're on the move. We're going. And you would think that I would just always wake up in the morning and be like, oh, this is just what I do. I wake up and I do my gratitudes. But there's something about seeing it on my phone that makes me stop for a second and just be like, oh, yeah, that's right. And it's just, I really take maybe 10 seconds and just run through like, here's all the things I'm immediately grateful for right now. But you can watch the energy change in people. And I love that you said shared gratitude. The reason we did that is that when you have this place that you can share that gratitude with others, you can watch others' energy rise. You can watch everybody's energy rise in that group. And then you'll watch somebody that when somebody shares something, you'll watch another person that all of a sudden you'll watch them perk up, like their eyes light up. And then when it gets to them, they want to share their gratitude. And it's like, I don't even think they were thinking about gratitudes yet until they heard somebody else share their story of their grandkid. And this person goes, ooh, yeah, let me share you like my gratitude I have for my grandkid right now. Like, it's an amazing thing to watch that energy boil and come up. And we all have the ability of doing this. This is what I think is like, it's not a unique talent that just Matt Benelli has. Like, this is a gift that we all have that very few of us lean into. And then when you ask somebody, Matt, do you do your gratitudes? It's like, oh yeah, I do my gratitudes. I'm like, well, how often? And do you feel good when you do them? Like, oh yeah, I always feel good when I do them. Like, what if you did them more often? Like, what if you did them throughout the day? What if you like, they don't lose their power. They don't lose their energy. They just keep getting better. Like, why not?
Yeah. I mean, well, and that's the thing. Once you start doing it in the morning, like it becomes a thing that you can deploy at any point during the day to shift how you're feeling, right? You know, someone made you feel bad, you're having a tough deal. Well, move to gratitude, you know, because the one thing I love about gratitude, and I probably say this every single year, it is the one thing that is shared among every single like life philosophy, you know, every single spiritual philosophy, every single religion has gratitude built in somewhere, saying like being thankful, expressing gratitude is a core element of being able to get closer to your higher power, right? And it's true, right? Because gratitude literally helps push away negativity. It helps push away fear. It helps push away hate, because it's hard to be in a state of gratitude, actually feeling it, if you are angry, right? At the same time, if you are angry and you start to say out loud gratitudes and everything, it's hard to stay angry. It's hard to stay mad. It doesn't mean that you're going to get rid of facts and all these things or whatnot, but when you deploy that gratitude in a way, man, like it doesn't suck to be stuck in traffic anymore. You know, it's not the end of the world that deal fell through. And if anything, it helps you then open up your eyes to see the opportunity to navigate around it. Yeah. To say, hey, all right, this deal fell through, but here's now where we can go. Here's the opportunity. Here's how we're going to manage this. And here's how we're going to help this person continue to succeed. Because using a deal as an example, Garrett, when a deal falls through, like we're bummed because like, man, you know, really wanted to close that deal, but we got people that still need help. We got a buyer or seller on our side that we still need to serve, that we need to look for that thing. And so it is upon us to then be in a state of gratitude so that we have the ability to serve those people better, Garrett.
Well, and I think that these are the opportunities to use them as pattern breaks too, because I mean, Matt, we're not perfect. I mean, I've had days. I had one here a while back where I was really off, and it's funny. I could feel myself just like stuck in this, just focusing on all the kind of like, why this, why that right now? I don't really need this. I really want this to work out. And that seems to not be working out. And there's all these pieces. And I remember I pulled over to the side, I pulled the car over. And I was like, okay, dude, we're done. Like, we're done. This is serving none of us. It's not serving any of my clients. It's not serving my kids. It's not serving my wife. It's not serving you, Matt. Like, this needs to be shaken off. And the only way I know to do that is to go into a state of gratitude. And I think where a lot of people don't give it enough time, when you're in that state of fret, frustration, anger, and you're like, oh yeah, I'm supposed to do gratitudes right now. That's what everybody says. And they stop and they go, like really hard. And they, yeah, I can't. I'm not grateful for anything right now. I don't want to do this. This isn't fun. Like, I don't want to play this game right now. It's very easy to give up fast on it. And what's really interesting is that, and this is why I always say, start small first. When you find yourself in one of those weird spots, just start small first. You might sit there and look out the window and see, just one perfect cloud out there and just be like, you know what, that's kind of fun. Remember when we were kids and we got excited about like just sitting looking at the clouds, just laying on your back on the grass and just saying, there's something I'm grateful for right now. And then take a look around and be like, hey, you know what? I have electricity and light in my office right now that's allowing me to be here. I have a camera that's looking at me right now that allows me to have a business partner from 3,000 miles away that I feel like I have a relationship, like I get to see him every single day and have interactions with him. You start adding all these things on, and it's very easy to not see that stuff when you're not in the state of gratitude. But understand that to get yourself to start to open up and see all these things, you have to open the door. You have to open the box up and go, okay, let's start taking the things out of here for a second. Think of it like a big trunk. And you open up the big trunk and you're like, all right, I get it. It's an old trunk. It's been in the attic for a while. I haven't opened this thing up and looked at it. And then all of a sudden you're like, okay, well, here's something. Oh, here's something. Oh, I remember this memory. Oh, but this is so cool. Why haven't I looked in this trunk in a while? You need to bring that element into your world. You all can do this. But again, it's real easy for us to try for a second and then go like, yeah, I can't do that right now. I don't want to do that. Like that I watch happen. And I know it because I've done it. I've done it when I've been in a crap attitude and I go to look for some gratitude and I'm like, I got nothing right now. And I can either stay in that zone, which is a choice, or I can say, you know what? I'm not willing to stay here. I know I can find something if I choose to find it. It's all out there.
And the more you practice that, you find the little things become the big things. And if you practice when you're not in that, negative state, it becomes easier to then consciously move into it when those negative states happen. And it's fun watching kids with this because my girls, I have the great pleasure of driving them to school in the morning. And when we pull out of the garage, the first thing I say is, all right, girls, what are you grateful for today? And sometimes like they've been really happy getting into the car. And sometimes like one of them is like screaming and crying and being like, I don't want to wear these shoes or whatever it is. And it takes a lot of effort to try to turn them around, but kids are fun because they can move their emotions so fast. Yeah. And I think part of that is because their perception of time is so much different than ours. We hold on to things so much longer than children do. But eventually, once you can get them to say something that they're grateful for, you find it's like the little things, right? I mean, if you get into that habit of being like, man, I'm just grateful that I woke up today. Yeah. I'm grateful that I can breathe. I'm grateful that I can listen to this podcast. It's like, wow, like those things become this really, because like if I didn't have that, if I didn't wake up, holy cow, it would be absolutely terrible.
It'd be
so
a rough,
we can't even start there and be like,
of us, Matt.
Well, it'd be bad for me too, right? Well, actually, it would be pretty awesome for me because then you'd be living in the kingdom. But at the same point, it's like there's so many like those little things become the big things when you start to practice it on a daily basis, which that then starts to transform your whole business. And people will look at this, Garrett, and say, oh, it'll transform my business, so I should do gratitude to get results. And I think there's two things that could happen with that shift is one, yes, you might see greater results, or your perspective on the results changes, therefore you see greater results. Like either way, the results are better. It's either though they're actual, like you can see scoreboard type of results, or your perspective changes and your scoreboard perception changes. And then all of a sudden the results are still good for you. It's a beautiful thing.
Well, if you want to do an experiment for fun, I've done this in the past. It's funny, I don't think I've really talked about it, but this is something that I used to play a game when I was a kid, which is just, could I get somebody to smile? And I've done it for years. I say as a kid, because I still think of myself as a child, because I still do this today, is I'll get to be around somebody's environment. My whole thing is, can I get them to smile? And then a while back, I started asking people, what's one thing that's really great that happened today? And I remember I was at the grocery store here, and the lady said, nothing. And I said, really? Nothing? Like, come on, something's happened. Something good happened this morning. What's one good thing? And I kind of like locked onto her like a pit bull. And I'm like,
she's like, who the heck is this person?
Why are you doing this to me?
Badgering me.
But it was really interesting to all of a sudden watch her start to think and watch her start to pull things together, where all of a sudden she goes, it's funny. I'm sharing this right now because it's kind of in the moments coming up, but I don't remember exactly what she said, but I do remember watching her all of a sudden, like her energy shift. And all of a sudden she smiles and she stands up a little bit taller. And it's like, okay, what if we did that for other people? What if you went into your days? I mean, you would feel better. They would feel better. We have all this great opportunity all around us. And what if we just did this in general? What if you just did this on Thanksgiving? What if you listened to this episode and you said, you know what? I'm going to make sure all the people that I bump into today, I'm just going to ask them, what is one thing that you're grateful for that came out of this last year? Or what is one thing you're grateful for that came out of this last school year that you were in? Or whatever it might be. Take the time to do this. It is so incredibly beneficial, not only for you, but for all the people that are around you. And part of what I want to be known as, I want to be known as that person. I want to be known as that person that brings that kind of energy, that kind of joy, makes people go to those places, that makes them feel better. By the way, it makes them want to be around you more. It's an interesting thing that happens. Want to create more friends, influence more people, have more fun. Create an environment that more people want to be around. And very few people will run away from gratitude. Very few people will run away from that type of energy. All day long, we avoid people where we go, I don't know what's wrong with them, but I'm going to give them a little space right now. You have a choice. You have a choice if you want to, again, turn that energy and have some fun with some of your people. I'd love to share real quick, Matt, what I'm grateful for. We've been on an awesome journey here. Now we're about little over 18 months into this. We're about 18 months actually. Now that I say that out loud, we're right there. I look at my experiences through my life and the journey that I've been able to be on, and I am having more fun doing this right now than I have in all the years that I have been in a space of influencing people and being able to help people and grow people. This time is turning into, I'm watching it start to grow into this thing that I'm like, and oh my gosh, here it goes. Here it's happening. And it is one of the most fun times of my life, man. I want to say thank you to you. And I want to say thank you to all of you out there who are on this journey with us, because really, you are all on my journey. I'm just telling you right now, like this is, I'm grateful that I get to help everybody. I am grateful for all the amazing relationships that I build and have built over time. But I don't feel bad saying you're on my journey right now, and I'm having a whole lot of fun doing what I can do. And I'm happy you guys appreciate it.
Well, Garrett, I'm going to echo your gratitude and say, man, I'm so grateful for you and Sarah as business partners, for all of our audience. And when we were in Texas, it was about a month ago now, it was so cool to share, whenever we have the opportunity to share physical space and get together and just kind of, share a car ride, share a stage, and then also converse with people who listen to the podcast, meet people who are podcast listeners. And it's so awesome. And what we've been building at Life at 10/10, I'm so grateful that we've been able to do it, because it feels good for me, for sure. I know it feels good for you, but it's really cool to see the transformations in other people. I'm just grateful that we have that opportunity to serve at that level. And I want people to know that we don't take that for granted either. Like I don't take for granted the opportunity that we have to help people. And I love it. It's just so much fun. And I'm just glad that, and as Jen was actually saying that, she's like, I'm so glad that you and Garrett are business partners. Like, I feel like you're really good for each other. And I was like, you know what? We are good for each other. I was like, he's really good for me. I hope I'm good for him too. It's like, but you know, I'm glad that she made that observation, and I'm just really grateful for that. So
I was telling somebody the other day, we were having a conversation. They were like, well, like, what is it like with your working relationship? I said, the coolest part about Matt and I is we call each other out. We know each other oddly well. And I said, the mere fact that you can have somebody around you that sees your energy. And I will say, because I'm using this towards you, where I was like, I saw your energy was off, and lots of people could come back and be like, well, this is why, and blah, 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 and you're like, you know what? It is off. And I said, you should do some push-ups. And you're like, I should do some push-ups. And here's Matt on the floor doing push-ups when our guest comes on, because we were getting ready to start the podcast, and all of a sudden Matt like arises out of the floor, like he's back up. But your energy was so different just by doing that. But the mere fact that you're willing to have that type of conversation with me, take that type of energy of me saying, hey dude, you're off, like fix yourself. And it's not an attacking thing. It's just, it just reinforces for me what we're doing, who we're about, where we expect each other to be, so that we can help as many people as we possibly can. And again, just super fun. And I'm meeting the coolest people. I have, in the last 18 months, I have had so many new relationships doing what I was doing for the past, I don't know, crazy how many years before this. There was a side of me a while back that I was going, all these relationships I have kind of have baggage with them. And I love all my relationships from the years in the past and things like that. But one of the things I'm the most grateful for right now is there's a lot of just amazing people that don't necessarily know me from before, that are coming in and saying, like, I love what you guys are doing. I love what this is all about. And I'm grateful for those new people coming in. It's been super powerful for me in my world. And you know who you are. You know who you are, that we've started a really tight bond in about the last year. So thank you.
It is cool. It's really cool to see that. And I'm going to give everybody kind of encourage you to do an exercise today. If you're listening to this on Thanksgiving or whenever you're listening to this, is the people that you're sharing a meal with today, one, share gratitude over that meal before you consume it. I think it's going to transform the way that meal works for you, but also share gratitude for the people at that table. And I know some of you, when family gets together for a holiday or something, it's like, oh, we have like Uncle, Bill with his political views and all that kind of stuff. Cool. There's still something that I know you can find gratitude for in that person. And you're going to, even if it doesn't transform that other person, it's going to transform you and change your experience at that table if you just share one little piece of gratitude. So share gratitude for the meal, share gratitude for the people that are around that table with you. And I know that it's going to make your day that much brighter. And so, man, Garrett, thank you, man. I'm grateful for you. Thank you, everybody who's listening. We couldn't do it without the thousands of people who are listening to the podcast each and every day. And so we so appreciate you guys. Thank you so much.
Well, we're going to make this a nice, simple episode for everybody. We don't need to go any deeper with any of this, but as you've heard, we're grateful for you, Matt. I'm grateful for you. Grateful for Sarah that puts everything together behind the scenes for us. I think she might work harder than we do. And guys, have an amazing Thanksgiving. And again, we'll be back soon. And grateful you're on this journey with us.